we're already on our last stop. This is number 10 on your map. It's all the way to the left, towards the bottom.
He's talking about the map.
But it is to the right side of the bus, which I think is what she was saying. This is parcel E2, and I chose this as our last stop because I really feel this is the best and the worst and the best that Hunters Point has to offer. So this is an old contaminated landfill. It used to be on fire, we heard earlier, and it's now been turned into an area that will be suitable for open space, parks. There's going to be the Bay Trail running along this area. There's wetlands that will tie into the Yosemite Slough wetlands down there to, I guess, the south. And when complete in 2019, will be transferred to the city. So there's already been a lot of work done here. There were excavations, there were groundwater treatment, there's revetment. You know, we talked about the shielding or the armoring of the shoreline. There's been revetment that will happen out here as well. But it really is a good indicator of what a great resource that this property is going to be to the community afterwards. Having these type of trails, walking trails that connects to the overall Bay Trail and wetlands, just really is going to be, I'm excited about the potential. Any questions?
Yeah, 1 second. 2, 3, I think. 4.
Are there any native plants, or are you aware of any native plants that do uptake of heavy metals and things like that? I mean, I know there are some bulrushes or reeds or something that have been planted in wetlands to do that kind of cleanup.
Yeah, definitely there are plants in my environmental experience. I've been doing environmental work for 18 years. I have studied and worked with plants in the past that are exactly what you're saying, or are used to uptake metals. I do not believe they're being used here because I don't believe that that's a problem in these wetlands, but I don't know off the top of my head. You know of any I don't believe so.
What's the question about using plants specific?
Are we using any plants in the wetlands to treat metals?
No, that's not going to be part of the, I'd say, remediation effort.
Yeah, I don't think it's safe here. Okay, number 2.
Hotel building, looking like building way off in the distance. What was that? And then right here, there's a modern building that's clearly functioning. It's got a lot of cleaning pipes, and I saw vapor coming out of it. What is that?
Sure. So the first building we're talking about is kind of the tall one in the distance, and that's the old Marine barrack, or the old barracks. Those were constructed very shortly before the base closed, and to my knowledge were not used while the base was open. We have had reports. There's no windows on them. The windows were never installed, but if you look closely as we drove by, you could see the bunks still installed. So we have had a report from a community member that supposedly was here after the base closed, and we collaborated. Collaborate was the word.
It was a Navy man that served on a ship that was being repaired here. And he said he stayed in there, and we confirmed that the ship was being repaired here at that time.
So it was confirmed that after the base closed, a Navy ship was berthed here, and some sailors stayed in that building without windows. It could be kind of like camping or something.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah, you sleep where they tell you. The second question was, what is this building here? This building right here was not part of the Navy-owned property, and it's owned by the University of San Francisco. USF.
No,
UCSF. Okay, excuse me.
What's it used for?
I don't.
That's where they have their animals.
They have their animals.
The green piles of dirt in the front of us, are those like, what are they?
Green piles of dirt.
Don't eat that dirt.
The green
Yeah.
piles of
She's asking about the green piles of dirt that we drove by, and absolutely, those are stockpiled soil sample, or stockpiled soil that has been sampled and is awaiting disposal. One of the things they do to prevent dust from spreading that soil is they spray, it's a tackifier, so it's kind of like, yeah, it's sticky stuff on the outside of those soil piles to keep wind and erosion and so forth from happening. Now they weren't all green. Some of them were not green, and that's just because the type of tackifier they bought was happened to be clear. But in the industry, that stuff they spray on it is known as, and I don't like this word, it's known as gorilla snot.
rhino snot.
Yeah, it's just a silly. I don't like to use it.
I love that word. Like it. Reminds me of King Kong.